All right, let's show you guys some animals. We'll let you guys see a couple animals here for a little bit while I go test this to make sure that this is working properly. This guy's pretty cool, right? Let me go make sure that this is the right way. All right, perfect. This is actually working like it should be. Hi, buddy. This guy's really freaking cool. Let me go turn the sound down on my computer because I can hear it. It's probably going to echo. All right. Let's put like a paper towel down so that like it's not like, probably the white balance will be better if it's on a paper towel. All right, what's up, guys? You guys want to see some cool animals? I'm just going to go through them and just show you guys random animals. And kind of explain what they are and stuff like that. So that first one was a G2 project animal. Oop, stay here, buddy. All right, so this one, if I can get him to move in front of... All right, now if he'll stay there. All right, so this one is a Black Knight Joker cross, like F2, which, here, wait. He's not going to stay still, so I might end up having to, like, put them in cups or something so that they stay pretty still. But this one is pretty awesome. It's starting to get the red stripe down the back. It's starting to color up, but just super cool. You can kind of see that there. But super cool looking. Might be easier just to put them in a tub so that they don't go too far. And then I can like go back and forth and give you guys a little bit more time to actually see them. This one's getting ready to shed, but you can still see how crazy it is. So this one is actually one of the Bloody Joker project animals. And of course he goes the whole way over there, so that, there. Now you guys can see him a little bit better. And then he's gonna go to the other side. This is a male, and he is super cool. Very cool coloration to him. His back is like super dark. I really like this guy. See if I can like bring him up closer to the camera so you guys can actually take a better look at the coloration. This is natural sunlight, so hopefully you guys can see like the coloration. But super pretty animal. It's funny how like the camera is really trying to like pick up certain colors. But always the best way to judge is the carrot tail. Carrot tail is always going to be the same color for the most part. But he is freaking awesome. Actually, I'll leave him in the tub and then go get another one. This is another G2 project animal with a crazy amount of carrot tail. Just super cool. Let's see if I can just get on my head. Sound should be a little bit better now. So this G2 project is like the second iteration of it, just kind of trying to make that same look as the original G project stuff by using some carrot-tailed animals. But this one's pretty close. Like the dad's actually like a lot more carrot-tailed than this one, but super cool. This guy's about 3 months old already, so pretty fast growing as well, which is always good. So the white balance is correct. But pretty awesome animal. Do you guys want me just to go through like most of them? Or should I just hand pick certain ones that are like super cool? Probably should hand pick certain ones that are just super cool, because if not, we're gonna be here all freaking day. All right, go grab another one. This one's actually pretty cool. It's like from a higher contrast look. It's got a lot of freaking crazy orange to it. So this is from a more high contrast, like branch of the Joker Project stuff. Just pretty cool. And then these next two are sisters, and they are really freaking cool too. Let me just take these guys out. These guys have the metallic look to them, which I'll pull this one up a little bit closer so you can see what I'm talking about with the metallic. Some of the Joker Project stuff gets this crazy like orange coloration to it that's almost like a metallic look, which hopefully it'll pick up on camera. There, you can kind of see it there, but it literally looks like it's like powder coated, which is pretty cool. And then of course that was picking up more greens and stuff. That's the weird part, is like the little bit of shade, like actually, like it changes. Like look how it's from there, and then the camera trying to like catch it up here. It looks totally different. But this guy's super cool. This female, actually. I really like her. And then the sister's pretty awesome too. I wonder if I can like zoom out. No, I can only zoom in. So, but these two are pretty awesome. that was those two. This one right here is actually going to the UK. It's a freaking awesome animal. It's got super, super crazy orange to it. And then the sibling is actually even crazier in my opinion. Definitely has that like powder coat orange to it, which is pretty freaking awesome. And it's getting really, really dark. So you might be able to see it on this one a little bit better. If it will calm down here. Whoop. Hey, bud, come here. I know. Do you want to hide? Okay, there we go. So you can see like the contrast of the orange itself. It's like, I wish the camera would be a little bit better here. See if I can get it closer so it would get in focus. There, like it actually has like different hues of orange within the orange bands, which is pretty crazy, or orange stripe, I should say. So it gives us the orange like this three-dimensional look. Which actually, here, wait, I zoom in, there we go. Now you can see it a little bit better. It literally gives it this like powder coat is the best way I can even describe it. Whoop, went the wrong way. All right, so those guys are super cool. Super awesome animals. Next one's definitely one of my favorite females. She comes from a line that is just producing craziness. Like that's just what she is right there. Like she's glowing basically. No camera tricks, no nothing, just she's just crazy. Like that is really super crazy orange. I wish she would stay over there so that you guys could see her better. Oh no, come on. I know you don't want to sit still. There we go. But yeah, she's a smoke show. And then her sister is also pretty crazy. Her sister's probably actually brighter than she is. And just darker coloration in general. But she's pretty smoking. See if you can see both of them in the same shot. So like the smaller one is like slightly more orange, but crazy looking. And then the heads on them are just super orange, which is definitely different than most of the other Clown Project stuff, or Joker Project now, I should say. Is that these guys have much brighter heads, which is also pretty cool. They're definitely taking more of that tangerine influence to them. Next up is one of my like personal favorite ones because it's just so unique looking. It's this girl right here. So on her sides, every single tubercle is actually like colored, which is pretty awesome. You can see like how dotty she is. Just super cool look where like all the tubercles are black. And then she does have some crazy color to her too. Kind of has that powder coat look to it as well. But she is just super, super cool. And this might be more of the recipe of how to get the solid black sides with the bright orange back. So she'll be super, super cool. And then her sibling has that nice stripe to it too, but just doesn't have the sides like she does. But still, same genetics, and is going to be really, really cool as well. Probably will produce like super awesome animals. Try to like keep her in the frame there for you guys so you guys can take a look. Let's see what other craziness we got. So here's something that like you don't see every day. That's another project I'm kind of working on. It's a Albi Snow project, but it's like a creamsicle version. And this one's almost like green in color. A little spastic, but still pretty cool. So it definitely has like that really like kind of dirty look to it. But it's almost like this greenish hue. I think if I were to breed this back into tangerine, it would create some crazy looking stuff. But as you can see, a little rambunctious, which is good because I outcrossed them. So they definitely, yeah, I still have Albi stuff. So this guy's really cool. I'll go grab another one for you guys. Yeah, just because I don't talk about some of this stuff, guys, doesn't mean I don't have it. This is another one of those like, oh, somebody commented, has there ever been full carrot tail? Yes, there has been full carrot tail. I used to produce a lot of them. This guy's super cool too. Just crazy amount of stripage on this one. As this one was developing, there was actually like probably 7 different stripes on this animal. It's got like a reverse stripe. It's got like the technical red stripes. And then it's even got like stripes on the side as well. And along with this like crazy carrot tail. So I don't know if she'll let me. She's starting to lose her like side stripes, but still really, really cool. That middle stripe is staying really well. So that's kind of cool too. And then to have the nice carroting to the tail is also cool. So it's actually a crazy contrast between like the orange on the tail and then like the body color. The body color just almost feels like it doesn't know what it wants to be yet, which is kind of cool. So you guys have seen a lot of this like older stuff. So I'm gonna try to like go through that stuff kind of quicker and then start getting into stuff that you guys really haven't seen yet. Because some of the cooler stuff was actually Hatched a little bit later. So I'm going to try to go through and find some cooler looking animals for you guys as I'm going through. All right, here's some really dark stripes. Grab this guy. These two sisters are awesome. They definitely have like what I was going for with that Joker Black Knight stuff. Now, if they'll just sit still so you guys can take a good look at them. So these do have Black Knight in them, but they actually don't have a ton of Black Knight in them, which is kind of cool. So these guys, you might be able to actually like see. So this one does have that powder coat look to it as well, which is kind of cool. Definitely has like a darker orange stripe down its back, and the sides are super cool. Because that's actually the hardest part, is getting that crazy color on an animal that has the sides. So, and then this one, it's not quite as orange. It's almost more of like a mustard yellow, but it's getting there. But these guys are pretty cool, for sure. I already did show one of the Dark Knights. I can show it again real quick. But we're going to go through a lot of different stuff. Like, these are technically going to be part of the Dark Knight project, next generation. Because it's really not that they like need a ton of Black Knight in them. That's the cool part. You almost don't want them to be too dark. So you just need like almost like a hint of it. If that makes sense. It's all about like getting the right combination. Actually, I'll let you guys look at those. I'll go grab the next ones. All right, so next one is going to be one of the Bell Joker Project animals. That is pretty crazy. It's got that cool stripe to it, some crazy color. This color, though, is probably going to overtake the whole body, I'm guessing. But which isn't awful, but I'd rather it keep more of the contrast. Definitely a hold back just because of how crazy it looks, but yeah, I'll probably want to have more contrast in the future whenever it comes to these guys. All right, this next one is one of the cleanest animals that I actually produced. And it's just awesome looking. Like, this one is just super clean, like no spots on its side whatsoever. So this is definitely just like random chance that it like all faded pretty evenly, which is kind of cool. It does have quite a bit of carrot tail to it as well. So this is actually from basically like line breeding clown project stuff. So this is actually probably about 75% my like OG clown project male. So just super, super crazy looking and like super, super clean. It would be kind of cool if I could get the spots off the head and then just have the two different types of orange, which that would be kind of cool. But yeah, super, super pretty. Let's see who's next here. This one's a pretty cool animal just because of like its contrast. Like it's got that really, really dark orange spot, and then it still has like the lavender on the sides. So this is definitely from like the Clown Black Knight stuff, or Joker Black Knight, if you will. But that one's super cool. Let's see what else we got here. So these two brothers are actually very interesting as well. These are almost like patternless stripe jokers, which are also pretty freaking cool. So they have more of that red stripe look to them because it is the patternless stripe stuff happening. So these guys, like the goal for these guys would be to add more carrot tail, and then they'd be smoke shows. You can kind of see the little bit of lavender still like on that one's back. But whenever these guys were born, they were born kind of looking like normal like Joker Project Animal or Clown Project Animal stuff, where they had the stripes, and then depending on like which line they are, like these stripes either fade or stay there. So these ones, like the stripe fades out a little bit, but they're still pretty awesome. Let me go grab the next one for you guys to see. All right, these next ones are actually pure funky jungles, which, yes, I actually do have pure funky jungles. I am trying to make them more high contrast by breeding them into Joker Project stuff, but these are funky jungles, which is basically, they're just like crazy jungly bell stuff, which is pretty cool. The one's a little bit more banded than the other. A lot of my bell stuff, number 0088, looks crazy on Morph Market. I'm getting to that one. I'll tell you, I'll actually pull that one up next. Number 88. Because 88 is pretty awesome. This is probably the one you're talking about. Probably will look better on the live. And then here's the sibling. So that's number 87 and then number 88. But like, look at the stripe on that thing. It isn't broken at all. It goes the whole way down through the tail, which is pretty awesome. And then the sibling's pretty cool too. Like super, super dark, which is pretty crazy as well. So these guys also have a little bit of Black Knight influence in them. So these are actually 25% Black Knight, which is kind of cool. So this is basically part of the Dark Knight project. But look at that thing. It's freaking crazy. And actually, I might be able to like zoom in on that one. It did have the metallic look to it. I mean, it's hard to see on this, but yeah. The sibling almost has like more metallic look to it than that one. Whoop. Back in. I'll actually let you guys look at that one a little bit longer while I go find another one. Here, go over here. People can see you. This one's also pretty cool. I don't think I put this on Morph Market, but this is a white and yellow Joker. Starting to really get some crazy color to it. And then I'll show you the siblings. I do not work with black pearls anymore. So this is a white and yellow and a white and yellow sibling. Pretty easy to tell the difference. Obviously the white and yellow, obviously not. So these guys are really, really cool. They definitely came out pretty awesome. Pretty happy with these guys. Like the lavender on this one is probably going to stay. And it just, any hets in that white and yellow Joker? Very, very small percent chance Tremper. Like its dad was like a 12% possible het Tremper. He is being tested out, but the females were het free. So it's a very real possibility that both of these guys are actually het free. Which honestly, a lot of the Joker project stuff is het free. There's definitely lines of it that are het free, and then there's lines of it that are het for things. Obviously, if I'm making Tremper and Bell and Rainwater Jokers, there are going to be hets. But these guys are pretty sick. Hey, what you doing? You looking up at me? All right. Let me grab some of your friends. Actually, this one has a super weird look, and it's actually pretty cheap on Morph Market. I'm just going to pull it out for you real quick. Let me put these guys away. So this is actually a Black Knight Joker cross that kept a lot of the lavender sides to it, which is pretty cool. Yeah, it doesn't have a crazy amount of orange to it because like the Black Knight's kind of like taking that away, but the lavender on the sides is like super cool. And it looks like that's going to stay pretty high lavender because this thing's already probably 25 grams and it still has that lavender. So be a cool project animal to like you know, start like high lavender sides and stuff like that. But very cool looking gecko. Can't keep them all though. So that one is definitely like for sale. Let's see if I can show you guys some like different stuff. It's been a lot of the, kind of the same. Yeah, because a lot of the Jokers look very similar, seeing that like it is all the same project. We'll probably start getting into stuff that you guys have never seen before here shortly. I'm on to rack number 3. Five. Hopefully that didn't pause. My phone was yelling at me that I have low battery. So I might have to go grab a charger. Here's a cool high contrast trimper. And it's just going to wander all around because they're more light sensitive. But they are pretty cool. All right, let's see what else we got. This one's definitely got a super weird look to it. I'll leave this with you guys while I go grab my charger. Probably left the screen by now. But this guy's super cool. There we go. It's almost got like circled type patterns on it, which is kind of cool. Got still some lavender within the circles, which is pretty cool. And it is a male, so it would be a cool animal to have as like to start any like breeding projects. See if I can adjust the lighting here a little bit. Make it a little bit less shaded. So you guys can see like some true color here. I mean, that's the crazy part about all these guys is like it's so hard to like get good pictures and pick it up on camera, honestly. Because depending on if you're in the shade or in the sun, like the orange is just different colors. They definitely change quite a bit. But super cool animals. These two are actually very cool striped animals. You can definitely tell that these ones have more firebolt influence to them. And just like firebolts, like, you know, the more orange they are, the more the side pattern kind of fades out. But this one is really freaking awesome. This is number 98 and 99 on Morph Market. They're actually both males. So these guys are pretty freaking awesome, actually. This one right here would produce crazy babies with the amount of orange that's on this thing. See if I can get the what looks a little bit better. Yeah. Guess that's probably about as good as it's going to look. All right, these next ones are from D10, which D10 definitely throws some crazy babies. These guys are definitely have that powder coat look to them and are just ridiculous. Like that one right there is awesome. Like, hopefully you guys can see the coloration on these guys, because this one right here is insane. Like, super, super dark. Here, wait, let me move this out of the way. Let's see if we can't. Definitely rambunctious. Doesn't want to be held still. But you can see that powder coat look to it. Wait, there we go. Now you can actually see it. So this is what I'm talking about whenever I say the powder coat look. It's literally like three-dimensional orange, which is pretty crazy. Like, it's just like someone said it looked like I dusted them with Cheeto dust. Yeah, just freaking craziness. You can see it kind of like just by slightly turning it, makes it almost look metallic. Let me see if I can actually even adjust the lighting to like show it off a little bit more. Yeah, it's probably about as good as you're gonna get it. But see how it's like, it almost looks burnt. It's just crazy looking. Oh, buddy, you're being so good showing the people. Oh, go back out. Yeah, it's just like a different hue of orange for sure. And then the sibling is more orange. And then this is a very dark animal from the G2 project. This does not have any black knight in it whatsoever. And then here is the sibling. So one just turned out like way darker than the other. They both are cool looking, but the one is just like super, super dark, which is really cool. All right. Next up are jokers that are actually het for rainwater. So with any luck, these guys will produce like super colorful rainwater stuff. As you can see, like they're pretty dark orange already. But these guys are pretty awesome. then because you guys like stripes so much, get some really cool looking. I know, buddy. I'm so mad. So these ones definitely have like a crazier firebolt influence to them, which is pretty cool. And then this one almost like wanted to be more Joker. See if they'll all come to the same corner here. Yeah, it's like one definitely tried to be a little bit more Joker than the other ones. The other two like are like much more fireboltish. But you can see that like orange metallic trying to peek through, coming from the Joker stuff. So those guys are definitely pretty cool. Like, there you can kind of see the metallic coloration. Pretty cool. And then these two, this one's got a little heart on its nose, which is super cute. Well, let me zoom in on it. Probably not. They're just moving too much. But it does have a cute little heart on his nose. It's like, let me down. Let me down. These guys, I believe, are all girls, if I'm not mistaken. That looks like a girl. That looks like a girl. These will be in the next update on Morph Market. That one looks like a girl. Yeah, it looks like 3 girls. But super cool. If you're looking for like a fireboltish like male, next update, I don't know, maybe like early next week, I'll put some more up. I mean, I definitely have the animals and they're all starting to get of age and size. So if you're looking for a male, this one's a male. Definitely has more of that firebolt influence to it. And then this one, the sibling, is a girl. But you can kind of see how siblings can... No. So J9... So J9, these ones, this is actually a white and yellow. This is my white and yellow bold cross to a firebolt cross to Clown Project, cross back to Clown Project is the female, which those females of that particular type are het free. So a very real possibility that these two are both actually het free as well, which is kind of cool. But this one is pretty nice for sure. And if these ones will be on like the next update as well. But this guy does have some really nice like bold patterning. All right, what's next? I'm not sure if I have yet or not. That's the one that I actually forgot to put the numerical number on it. What are the two numbers that are around it? No, you can the white and yellows you can tell pretty easily. Like this one's a white and yellow. This one is not, and you could tell pretty easily in that other cross. As long as you know what the parents are, it's pretty easy to spot the white and yellow from the non-white and yellow. This white and yellow is actually really cool. But these guys are a little bit different. So these are actually red diamond firebolt crossed a red diamond red stripe crossed to a white and yellow tremper. All right, so then that one's probably ID number 77. I can show you ID 77 real quick. 77. Here's 77 and 78. I didn't share that, or I didn't show you guys these ones. So one of these is probably it. I don't have my computer in front of me, so. Oh. Is it the Eclipse or the albino? This Eclipse actually has really good color. It's a lot oranger than most. And then the Raptor has a slight reverse stripe to it. So these are from G5. So these actually do have clown lineage in them. And, well, clown project lineage, I should say. And the male is a reverse stripe Raptor male. Bama, is that what you were looking for? Was it one of these two? The Raptor? Yeah. Yeah, the Raptor's pretty cool. Let me see, like, what the eyes look like. Right side is solid. And then, of course, he doesn't want to open up his... Or actually, the left side is solid. Sorry. Looking at him. Kind of looks like both eyes are solid. And it does have that kind of eraser mark on the top of the head as well, which is pretty cool. There's the reverse stripe. And looks like a girl. Pretty sure that's what I have it as, is a girl. All right, now back to where we were. See if I can't find you guys something a little different here. Here's actually a Funky Jungle Joker animal. So this is outcrossing Funky Jungle to the OG Clown Project male and back to itself. So that guy's pretty cool. You can definitely see the Joker influence in it. So super cool for a bell. Very stripy, which is pretty awesome. And that one is a girl. So it's probably staying here to be used for other projects. So I6. So these two are actually very, very cool as well. One's getting ready to shed, but still pretty awesome. So these are red diamond crossed to red stripe, crossed to red diamond crossed to firebolt, crossed to the OG clan project male, which I should just make him a name so that everybody knows who the hell he is. And then those babies cross back to each other. So these guys are also pretty awesome. Like, definitely different look to them. They're not as like crazily orange, if you will, but they're almost like a lighter orange. But they're super cool. These next couple ones that I'm going to pull out are from one of the lines of Joker stuff that is also pretty cool. They're more high contrast, so they're going to have more of the crazy jungle-y pattern to them. So there's those two. And then the other two are actually kind of better, in my opinion. They are from the same group. So these ones are from the sister. But, like, look at how crazy that one is. Just really, really cool, like, contrast pattern. So I'll put that one over there so you can see them a little bit better. All right, then these next two are they're also Funky Jungle Joker crosses. So you can see the really whacked out jungle on that normal. And that's kind of what like causes the funky jungleness, is almost that higher contrast, which is kind of cool. And then actually, these should be both girls. Yeah, that one's a girl. Yeah, they're both girls. But pretty cool patterns to them. This next one's pretty cool. It's also from a specific line of Joker. It causes the high contrast to it. Like, that one's almost swirly. And it's kind of cool because it's almost like the outlines of the orange are Trying to get some like shadowing. Actually, there we go. Just has that really weird pattern to its back, which is pretty cool. Hi, bud. You looking up at me? What do you see? It definitely has like cool amounts of like lavender to it as well. You know, let me like pull you up here a little bit. Like, I don't want to go up there and see everybody. Just super whacked out. Oh, I know. Did I make you mad? You gonna wag your tail at me? But super, super cool. Let me see what else we got next. This is definitely not what I want to happen, but it definitely is what happened. So this is an F2 Black Knight Joker project animal, and it just decided that it wanted to go all Black Knight. So yeah, I do have some solid black ones too, which is kind of funny. And looks like it's a girl. But yeah, some of them will turn solid black even though they're outcrosses. They're just going to be healthier. What else do we got down here? So this one's super cool. It's kind of a throwback. So this is actually a Tug Snow Tremper Marble Eye. Has kind of like a weird coloration to it. It's almost like this like weird yellowish, whitish color. I do like how they look. And this one will stay here to continue the Marble Eye project stuff. But like all Tremper albinos, it hates the light. All right, now we're on to rack 4. And there's going to be someone cutting the lawn, I guess. Shouldn't be too loud for you guys, though. This one is pretty whacked out. Now we're going to start getting into some like smaller animals that haven't developed and aren't really super crazy yet. But this thing is pretty awesome. See if I can zoom in a little bit on this guy, because this one is crazy. Definitely has that metallic orange to it, and then still has the lavender. The lavender is probably going to fade out on this one, and then those sides will kind of be like that light yellowish orange color. Just because like at this size it should have stayed a little bit darker, but it does have the metallic look to it, which is pretty cool. Yeah, maybe he'll stay like in that corner for a second. See if we can get him to. Oh, there we go. That's much better. Just super freaking weird looking. But that's what happens. They go through their weird stages. For sure. Just like this next one. Like this one is cool too. Definitely has that metallic orange to it. Oh, back up a little bit so I can see you. But super crazy colors at this stage in their life. Just super wicked. Super high contrast. Just crazy looking. This one will still be a cool looking like animal a little bit later too, because it does have a lot of that dark where the lavender is. So this one will stay pretty high contrast, which is pretty awesome. This next one's pretty weird as well. Just super funky color to it. Here's another one that is just straight up wacky. I think I actually posted this one on Instagram. But look at this craziness. There we go. It's like Christmas. It's green and orange. So that green's probably going to fade out. That stripe along the back, though, is going to stay pretty solid. Like, coloration is pretty crazy. You can see the metallic coloration on it, for sure. You know, it's got that weird, like, green hues to it. Super cool animal. It does come from a specific project that is throwing this kind of stuff pretty regularly. So, yeah, it's just going to be super, super cool. Like, that coloration is just amazing. Let's see if we can top that with anything else. Yeah, these two will. All right, so we've got this one. It has that green coloration to it too with the orange to the stripe. And then we've got the white and yellow. That's also pretty cool. A lot of lavender in the white and yellow, which is super cool. Definitely cool looking animals for sure. Seeming to be well behaved today. All right, these next ones. Whoop. Here's some more marble eye stuff. So this is, again, a Tremper albino Tug Snow marble eye. Super cool coloration. Like, they almost look like metallic white, which is pretty cool. I haven't really seen this metallic white in like other stuff, but it is pretty freaking cool, honestly. Come on, back over here. But you can kind of make it out a little bit. See if we'll just stay there for a second. But just like most albinos, likes to run away because it's too bright for him. This tangerine eclipse is actually really cool too. I noticed it whenever I was... So this is actually a atomic eclipse that is het for Bell, which is pretty awesome. So lots of cool color for being an eclipse. See if I can just go to his head a little bit. And then he does have his little socks, and kind of has that blue spot on top of his head. Super cool looking animal. What else do we got? Well, this one's pretty crazy looking too. Lots of crazy orange to this one. This one's going to develop even crazier. This is part of the G2 project stuff. So it actually is going to get more color as it ages. And then the carrot tail will fill out. Because this one is has the carrot tail. The carrot tail comes in later. It's not like the carrot tail from a red stripe where it's born with it. I'm trying to get some other cool stuff here for you. Actually, these next couple tubs are pretty cool. This eclipse is pretty awesome. Just like super dark. See if I can spin them a little bit. I know, bud. Just trying to show you off. There we go. Really cool oranges on this one. It's pretty awesome. Very peppered feet. And then we've got the snow version with a paradox spot on its head. This guy's pretty cool. So this is actually a gem snow eclipse with the paradox spot. You can kind of see the paradox spot on his head. And then his sibling is a super cool stripe. And he's going to run away because he's a Tremper albino. It's kind of cool that the stripe doesn't start straight on his tail. It like curves. which is kind of cool. Looks like he was laying in the egg and it messed up his stripe, but he is super cool. Maybe he'll stay there so you guys can look at him for a little bit longer. Nope, he ran away. Let's see here. I'm trying to show you some more unique stuff. This one's pretty unique. I mean, it's all kind of from the same project, so. So this guy is from L8. So L8 actually produced some of the coolest looking stuff, honestly. It definitely produced like these like very high contrast bands, or very high contrast stripes, I should say. And these ones are like the 25% Black Knight look to them. Let's see if he'll like come down and chill out. Like, look at that thing. It's got the Cheeto dust. Let's see if he'll back up a little bit. Yeah, just super crazy stripe. Like, and this thing is only maybe 10 grams, and it's already got that like powder coat stripe to it. All right, let's see if we can. Stay there. There, you can see the stripe really cool there. Oh, I know. Stay there so we can see you. Just gently nudging him back a little bit so that you guys can like actually see his color. There we go. That's pretty awesome. Like, that coloration is just super, super cool. That just means he's going to have one heck of an orange stripe to his back. Funny part is, like, the two parents that created this thing aren't really much to write home about, like, honestly. If I were to show you the two parents of these guys, actually, I might do that. I know where the female is. And actually, the male is with the female. Like, all right, you go from that right there, and then I will show you the pair that produced that thing, okay? And all of the L8s are all the same, right? This crazy stripe to it. So you go from, that's the baby, right? Whenever I show you the adults, you're not going to believe like that is actually their parents. So this is the female, kind of like an orange, you know, jokery looking thing, but not super high contrast. And then the dad looks like a freaking normal. That is the pair that literally produced that. I know. You leave them alone. So, like, that is just nuts. That you got these two animals that produced that craziness. That's actually a cool screenshot. You guys should screenshot that right there. So that is the parents and the baby. It just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But the parents definitely produce some craziness, so they will definitely stay here and be bred again next year. Because literally almost every single baby that came from them is a killer. Like, straight up killer. Definitely does not make a whole lot of sense. Oh, well, hello. And the next tub is another crazy one. Look at this beast. If he calms down. And then I'll show you another one here in a minute. So this guy, if he'll sit still for a second, we can zoom in on him. Like, is almost red. Like, that is definitely. There we go. Oh. And then he decided to go. It would help if they weren't cutting my grass outside right now and freaking out the leopard geckos. Yeah. Trying to like zoom in so you can see the actual color. There we go, kinda. And then he moved as soon as, yeah, we'll just leave it like that. That animal is craziness. And then our next one is another Joker Bell with the really wicked pattern. Pretty awesome. All right, let me see what else we got here real quick. I'm just gonna finish rack 4 and then we will make a different video for, yeah, there's 2 more tubs that have craziness in them, if not a couple more. Let me see. All right, let's go with some traditional bold stripe stuff. And these are actual bold as well, or at least this one is a bold bandit. I know. Why are you guys freaking out? All right, come on down here so that you guys can be seen. Both of them do have the bandit on the nose. One has definitely a better bandit, but super cool animals. This is like your like stereotypical like bold bandit right here. Nice bright yellow lavender with their little bandit noses. The one has the 4-eyed gene on top there. You can see the little white dots. So these guys are super cool. Nope, stay there. Very cool, like lavendery colors. We can zoom in on the lavender. There we go. You can see his little bandit nose. They're probably going to freak out and run away now. But these guys are super cool. And then we got this craziness, which is super cool. Crazy lavender stripe to that one. I'm pretty sure it's an eclipse as well. Yep, it's an eclipse. So crazy amount of color for an eclipse. Super cool, like lavender stripe. That's what I'm trying to go with more with the eclipses and raptors that I'm producing, is trying to get the reverse stripe happening. Because back in the day, like that was one of those things that like made it a really cool raptor eclipse, was that reverse stripe. And I think a lot of people have gotten away from it. So very cool to like, get it going again. And then all of this eclipse like raptor stuff is from like Clown G animals. So it is producing some like really, really cool stuff. Really cool coloration. All right. I think that's pretty much it, guys. Let me just check a couple more tubs. Let me just show you the Dark Knight Joker again, because for all the people that missed it, because maybe it'll like settle down now, and then we'll kind of call it a day. There it is. Super, super cool animal. See if I can't get it to go a little bit more into frame. It's really hard to like see the orange on the stripe, but definitely has it. And it's getting cooler looking. Just super, super dark. But hope you guys enjoyed seeing some of the animals. That was about 4 racks worth of animals. So I got another like 4 racks to really show you. So I'll do another video because we're at an hour and a half right now. So I think you guys got to see enough for the day. But this guy is pretty super awesome. But hope you guys